Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe, and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, a Choosing Beggar Karen throws a tantrum when she doesn't get a discount. Let's jump right in. I'm back again with another entitled parent story about my mother. You guys like reading about my lunatic mom, so here's another one for you. I was 12 when this happened in 2002. I lived in a small town with one grocery store, which my choosing beggar mother hated shopping at because they were way overpriced. Only $1 more here and there. I was the child she disliked, so for many years I naively tried to gain her approval by doing things I didn't really want to do, helping her at the grocery store being one of them. So one Saturday morning when Mom went shopping, I went with her. This was early 2000s, and loyalty cards weren't as common as they are today, at least not in that town. Our grocery store had only recently introduced the loyalty card system, so naturally not everyone understood it right away. After finishing our shopping, we were waiting in line as the customer in front of us was finishing. This was back in the Stone Age before self-serve, and began placing our items on the conveyor belt. The server spoke to the customer in front of us. "That will be $85. The customer hands over their loyalty card and the server scans it. "With your loyalty discount, that will be $78. The word discount was my mom's trigger. My mom to the server after our items were scanned and the total was given. What about my discount? Do you have a loyalty card? Why would I need one? Ma'am, you can only get discounts on certain products if you have a loyalty card, and you can collect points. You can get money off if you build up enough points. Would you like a loyalty card today? They're free." You don't need my information. I'm not going to be part of whatever scam you're running. Just give me my discount. I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. Now, is that all for today, ma'am? I could tell that he was trying to get her to leave so he didn't have to deal with her. Can I speak to the manager then? I'm the on-duty manager today. The store manager will be in tomorrow if you want to speak to him then. Fine then, but I'll be speaking with him, so don't expect to have a job after tomorrow. I wanted to sink into the floor out of embarrassment. Even at 12, I understood the loyalty card system, but obviously not my mother. She reluctantly paid for her stuff and dragged me out of the store. As far as I know, she didn't speak to the store manager, but even if she did, she didn't have any power over anyone's employment. I always found it amusing that she acted more like a child than her own children. In story number 2, we have a choosing beggar who feels entitled to her neighbor's Wi-Fi. So, a few years back, my wife and I moved cities so she could enjoy some better job opportunities after she finished studying. We scouted out houses and wound up buying one, when our initial intention was to rent for a while. The new city was much cheaper than the old city. I had to stay back in our old city to give notice at work and settle our affairs, while my wife moved to the new city to start her new job. So she winds up setting up all of the utilities and getting the house ready. Now my wife works some of her job remotely, so internet is a must-have for us, so we get the big unlimited package and it's all up and running by the time I get there. Now, unbeknownst to me, the internet cable guy van had attracted the attention of a stay-at-home mom that lived next door. She gets to talking to my wife and laments that it's taking the cable company forever to fix her internet. My wife, who is looking to make friends in the neighborhood, offers her a password to our Wi-Fi until she gets hers fixed, which should be just a couple more weeks. Anyhow, I arrive and start my new job. It's a transfer, so same stuff, different city. None the wiser that we have a leech sucking at our Wi-Fi. Now, the internet is occasionally slow. Netflix runs at a lower resolution, but I chalk it up to our provider being an evil conglomerate that enjoys breaking your spirit slowly. So beside the occasional moan to friends about the amount we pay for what we're getting, I don't spend too much time thinking about it. Learn from me, people. Don't be apathetic like me, kids. Look into why your internet sucks. Now, about 9 months later, the wife and I are out of town visiting family. My wife is in the shower when her phone rings. I answer with, "Wife's phone, husband speaking." It's the neighbor lady. She wants to know where we are. I don't usually tell people that we're out of town, but we're neighbors, so I say we're away for the weekend. She sounds pretty exasperated and tells me that there has been a power surge or outage or something like that, and that the internet has stopped working. I tell her that sucks. Maybe she should contact her cable company if her internet has stopped, but she corrects me that it's my internet that has stopped working. I'm confused at this point, but my wife is out of the shower, so I mute the phone for a minute and we chat about it. My wife does that surprised Pikachu face, and the whole story comes out. This woman and her family have been using our internet for almost an entire year. I unmute the phone just in time for a now angry neighbor lady to demand to know where we keep the spare key, so she can reset the modem. I actually laughed at her. "I'm not letting you into my house. You've been stealing Wi-Fi for almost a year now. You've had a good run. Get your own freaking internet, lady." She gets angrier and angrier. I can't remember everything that was said, but she definitely burned up any goodwill my wife and I might have had. Now, we have cameras for our house, but without the internet, they were only going to be recording to the hard drive, not the cloud storage we could see remotely. This woman was sounding a bit unhinged, and I could hear her kids complaining loudly in the background. So while she's putting one of her spawn on the phone to try and guilt-trip me, my wife uses my phone to call a friend who does have a spare key to go around and check it out. This friend has some insane family, so he understands and heads over. I've long since hung up on the neighbor lady when he calls me to say that when he arrived, her and the 4 kids were busy searching our front yard for a keystone. We don't have one. He told them to leave, and she and the kids became very irate until he pointed out the cameras and told her he was happy to call the cops. Our friend reset the router and the cameras, but left the Wi-Fi switched off. When we came home, I promptly changed the name of the Wi-Fi to Get Your Own Wi-Fi, changed all the passwords, and made sure that the only devices connected were ours. Our internet is great now. I still moan about evil conglomerates, and while we've had a couple run-ins with the neighbor lady, all I have to do is threaten to upload the attempted break-in video, and she leaves us alone. In our final story, a choosing beggar raises trouble in the flower center. This is my first big post, sorry if it's too long. Now, I'm the guy in charge of the garden center at the shopping center I work at. I'm not a manager or anything, I'm just the only guy that wanted the job taking care of the remote. Now, one of my responsibilities is making sure the markdown area is clean and plants are properly marked down, which I do. A woman comes up to me about mid-30s, maybe not super old but not young, and she asks me if I could mark down a specific flower for her. It was one of the flowers on the markdown area. The original price was $11.88, the current price $8.97, or something like that. Now, I don't mind marking it down a second time. Why not? It'll just sit there anyway. So, with a smile, I mark it down, making the new price $7.17, I think. Well, it's not good enough for her. She asks me, "Do you think you could mark it down for me again?" I inform her, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but my system only lets me mark items down twice. After that, I have to toss them." She then asks, "Well, can you just give it to me?" I let her know that is against policy. We can't just give away a throwaway plant, and I wasn't going to toss this plant away anyway, because it was still healthy and it would sell. It's at this point she pulls a Karen. "Well, can I speak to a manager?" Now, I'm still giving a smile and I tell her, "Yes, ma'am, I'll be back soon." I get my direct manager, we'll call her K-Dog, who is a very friendly manager and is more than happy to help any way she can. I bring K-Dog and Karen explains the situation. I then show K-Dog that my handheld will physically not allow me to mark the plant down. K-Dog comments that we can't do anything to override the claims app and says that is the lowest price we could go. The customer continues going back and forth with K-Dog. Well, I don't see why you can't mark it lower. You're a manager, etc. Things like that. She then pulls a Karen 2.0 and asks for a higher manager that can manage better. Not even sure what was going through her mind when she said that, lol. K-Dog obliges and asks me to get Chris, my co-manager, and Judy, one of our assistant managers, who has a no-nonsense attitude with customers like this and is very up-to-date on store policy. Our store manager had the day off, so I find Chris and Judy with the other co-managers and a team lead of the area, walking the store as they always do every morning and inform them of the situation. We all go back and Judy asks, "Good morning, ma'am, how can we help you this morning?" Karen, with attitude, "I want this plant marked down further, but they're telling me they can't." "Brandon, you said you marked it down twice?" "Yes, ma'am." "Okay, thank you. Go ahead and continue with your work out here." "Yes, I'm sorry, ma'am, but we cannot mark down the item any further." Now I'm walking away to continue taking plants off the racks. Over half an hour wasted with this woman, and then after more time spent arguing with Chris and Judy, she leaves without the flower. Later I find the flower on the ground. She had just left it, as one does, and I'm just stupefied by the whole situation. I hope you all enjoyed my little experience more than I did. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.